First, we're going to need a Tupperware or a takeaway container, some kitchen roll, a plastic card like a loyalty card, some baking paper, and some scissors. So first we're going to take the lid of the Tupperware, and this will act as our actual palette. The bottom half will be used later as our lid. We're going to fold the kitchen roll to the dimensions of the tub. This one I folded into 3. This is an uneven layer, but I'll be folding another to match it into a triple layer. My folds aren't perfect, but you can be as rough or as neat as you like. Next, we're going to take this bottle of water and wet the paper. I'm using the squeezy bottle rather than pouring water in so that I can control the amount of water while we're hydrating it and not cause lots of air bubbles to form. We're then going to take our plastic card and smooth the paper out. We need it to be nice and flat. Air is the enemy. Nice tight layers mean that the water will distribute well without the areas getting dry prematurely. Now onto our baking paper. We want to leave a gap around our baking paper of about 10mm or 3/8 of an inch for our American cousins. This is so that we have plenty of contact with the kitchen roll. The air can't get in as easily and it will have a second use that I'll show later in the video. There are affiliate links in the description down below, including to the baking paper that I'm using right now. I paid about £5 for it back in 2019 and it's still going. The price of it is higher now, but it could literally last you a decade of painting. We're going to add more water now. You can see that we have a gap at the top and the bottom of the paper between this and the Tupperware. I use this as a visual reference on how wet the paper actually is. If this makeshift reservoir gets very low, then I will simply top it up. Now that one side of the paper is wet, we're going to flip it over. It's important that both sides get wet. Don't worry about this being wet, we're going to sort it out after. We want to remove all the air from between the baking paper and the kitchen roll. As I previously said, air is the enemy. If you have any air bubbles forming underneath, they will slowly grow and start to dry out the paper above. Using an additional piece of kitchen roll, which we will use later for our paint session anyway, we will dry out the top of the baking paper to prevent us from watering down our paint any further than we intend to with stray water droplets. So let's test this out. We're going to use some hot pink because, obviously, and I'm going to thin this down a little using the surrounding wet kitchen roll. This only gives you a small amount of water, which helps you a lot with quickly thinning down paints and also preventing you from over thinning using your water pot. We're just thinning it down a little. So I'm going to show you this on the back of my hand. This is kind of a layer consistency, so we can do like a nice solid line. Whoops, I should have rinsed that out first. This is more of a glaze consistency, although I haven't dabbed off the excess moisture on a paper towel, so this isn't the clearest. We can try to go a bit thinner, but again, I haven't dabbed it off, so it will be quite similar. And that's all you need to know. When you're done, you can just use the bottom half of the Tupperware as a lid. I recommend only using the paper for 2 or 3 days at most though to prevent mold issues. This does mean that you'll be using more waste than if you use a commercial wet palette with foam, but I personally find that this works a lot better for me, and you'll probably be saving the same amount of money as you would spend on commercial wet palette paper by using your baking paper. And that's it for this video. Thank you for your time and your attention. I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions for future videos, please drop me a comment down below, and a like and a subscribe helps a lot too. And lastly, a massive thanks to my patrons who help financially support what I do. I've recently gone full-time as a commission painter, and the extra funds from Patreon helps an enormous amount. Thank you. This week we have a few new patrons, so a big thanks to Witchlight, who joined at the Knights of Caliban tier. We also have Dan S, Michael, and Aaron Clavette, who joined at the Watch Us in the Dark tier, as well as several new patrons who signed up to our Cheaper Than Twitch tier. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Until next time, remember that the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. Bye bye everyone.